I was here at the earlier meeting where we were listening to the results of a study by a New Jersey consulting group. And if I remember correctly, I read the paper, the Sun Messenger last year, and this study, we spent $41,000 taxpayer dollars on this study that we listened
That's
to
correct.
tonight, which was done in the fall of 2008. I did not hear very much different from what was already posted on the South Euclid website, which was the master plan, the master development plan for South Euclid. And while I was sitting here listening to the presentation, there were times that I almost thought that she had our master plan in her pocket and was reading it. And I mean, the development areas, the Cedar Center, the Mayfield and Green, the childless couples, and the attractions. I had previously read all this, which was part of a study done by the Euclid administration. I think we had a $750,000 grant to do a study for the feasibility of the development of South Euclid. Am I misinformed, or?
No, that's not quite right. The $750,000 was never spent on a feasibility study.
We were given a grant for a study, is what I
We were
read.
given a grant years ago to
Right.
perform a study. What you heard tonight and what was discussed as part of the statistics, it sounds similar, but is not exactly the same, because the master plan and all of that was done years ago. It needs to be updated. We're in the process of doing that. Her study was totally separate. Yes, there was some similarities in that she talked about areas that we have talked about before, Cedar Center, Mayfield Green, and so forth, where there's potential for development, okay, and we know Cedar Center is underdeveloped. But her study was related to the housing opportunities within South Euclid.
Right, and the other study was the master plan for development of South Euclid. Housing studies being something we want to look at because they create more tax dollars for, to run city services and things like that. It just, to me, seemed like a waste of money. I thought I had pretty much heard almost everything she said except a few statistics of who is looking for housing in I guess I'm just a little baffled by that. I read that we're not salting our roads hardly anymore, and I wonder why when I see what I just saw tonight.
I think you're going to find that this study that we paid for is going to help us in the future a lot more than the master plan is a plan. This is going to help us with the long-range plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just explain the extra 40 in personnel and the drop of 60 in other service, other charges. I mean
Which
the wages full-time goes up. On personal services, wages full-time goes up 30. I mean, I think it's on the other 30.
Right.
What's the extra?
Okay, on the wages full-time?
Full-time is going up $30,000.
It goes from 53,620 to 83,400.
Yes, I understand.
Thank you.
There was an adjustment in wages. Okay.
Can you explain?
Um,
I'm looking for a little more detail here.
I'll be very specific about it. Meg, when did you start working here?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. We said at the time when Meg started here that her salary was extremely low, but she was unproven at the time. And since that time, she's gotten a 3% increase. And she shared with all of us the prevailing wages around here for community center director. It was the administration's decision to adjust for salary accordingly. So that's why you see an increase.
30 grand? I'm sorry. if I'm the only one who's gonna sit here and say, I'm sorry, that timing has, you got screwed by timing. But I can't justify,
No, is that $30,000
What is-
per?
No, it's not, it's, your salary is
Salary.
What is this?
45 now?
I'm at 45
40,
right
she's at
now.
45,000 now, and looking at bumping up to 60, to be even below, still below the lowest paid. Well, this is what this is, this is
I
what this is
understand,
about,
and
so.
we have compared this to other communities whose community centers are bigger, have more things. I mean, we can't compare our community center, wonderful as it is, to,
Are you comparing the center, or are you
Cleveland.
comparing the director who runs it?
in either case, the activities and the jobs are bigger. The facilities are different, the activities are different, the staff is different. It's different when you run a staff with 3 maintenance, like Cleveland Heights, with 3 maintenance people and rinks and, I mean, there's the work is not comparable, and therefore, I don't think it's a valid comparison between our community center and other community centers, which also incorporate rec centers and activities. And I don't begrudge you a significant increase. But where's the other 15 going?
I asked for Keisha to have a raise. She's at $10 an hour
And to go to 12, right?
to go to 12.
Keisha's full-time, correct?
Right.
So that's.
Right, and last year she was not
No,
full-time.
She was not.
Okay, so last year, she was part-time, now she's
Full-time.
full-time.
So this new number of 83.4 covers you and Keisha?
It covers all.
And that includes.
But they're the only full-time.
Right, they're the only full-time.
And the numbers that I quoted for comparable salaries are not recreation directors. They are people with community service, community centers. Some of them are only even part-time and they still make more than me, and all they do is handle rentals. I think you'd be surprised at what the scope of my position entails.
Oh, I know, you do just about everything. And just trying to be cheap.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, frugal.
I would like to have, I'm a little skeptical about that kind of increase in today's climate. I just think it's 15,000 jump when we're trying to cut back, tightening our belts with the newsletter and
And home days. that
and
sort of
home
thing.
days.
Yeah, they're not doing one day.
We're not doing it. Everybody else seems to be cutting back. Ian, I think you deserve a raise and should have a raise. I'm just not sure it should be 15,000 right now.
Could I propose a knockoff of 2,500 off of, or,
Well, I think
and
we should
then
put
we
this
put
on
it on the
the
list?
It's on the list.
Yeah.
To
that
put
was
it
on the
back
list.
in? Well,
Knock off
this is
100
the
of
list.
the 15,000, knock off 2,500
Yeah.
off of that, to down to 13.5.
I mean, a little, but in recognition that home days doesn't happen, if home days doesn't happen,
But then, I hear you, and then I'm sitting here thinking, as we talk about it, as Keith said, and Meg pointed out, doing other things also for the residents. So we may not have home days and an organization and the things around that, but also making sure that the residents have those activities.
I'm just gonna be doing
Yeah.
this all day.
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah, but I'm just
President.
saying, it's on the table, I guess we're budgeted for all day here.
Just for clarification measures, council will also have the opportunity through the salary ordinance
Like to address.
to address this issue